So I was able to explore downtown Pleasanton for the first time.
First time.
Okay.
Thursday and Friday, and I went to this new coffee joint called Inklings.
Inklings.
Highly recommend it. Out of 10, I would scale it 9.3.
Whoa.
Wait, 9.3.
Out of 10.
Okay. Wait, where is this at?
Pleasanton, downtown.
I think I gotta be the judge of that. I'm the coffee snob, I think, in this office. So, I better go check it out for myself before we give you that 9 rating.
Very good place to go for a cup of coffee.
I'll check it out.
All right. Well, anyways, welcome to the Cover Cal High podcast. I'm your host, Jake Vanderbrook, alongside Tyler Flipson, Adrian Soriano. Wow. Week 5. We got some predictions wrong, ladies and gentlemen.
We'll talk about that.
We're gonna bite the bullet.
Brutal. Hate to see it.
There are some teams out there that surprised us, and now they have our attention.
Yep.
But let's start off with some scores from last Friday. The Dale South Spartans remain unbeaten. They went on to beat El Cerrito 35-14, while St. Ignatius was able to win a thriller in San Francisco, beating those Serra Padres 21-20.
And then we move right on over to Bellarmine St. Francis. St. Francis getting it done 48-7. I got to say, all love to Bellarmine, but I just want to see them get back to the program that they once were. Because, that's just brutal to see that. Because, that they were once upon a time top-tier team. But St. Francis getting it done 48-7. And then Heritage and Livermore. Heritage 42-28 over Livermore.
All right. And then Bishop O'Dowd handled their business in Hayward. They beat Tennyson 38-7. By the way, that was the longest game I've ever covered. No disrespect to the clock operator, but he kept stopping the clock when the play was inbounds.
Hate to see it.
I don't know why.
Hate to see it.
Moving on. Moreau Catholic beat Berkeley 26-14. That was a shocker for me.
Yeah, you know who's the big man on campus at Half Moon Bay High School?
Who's that?
Adler Halcherman.
What a name.
Yeah.
He had himself a career night, the game of his life. 321 rushing yards with not 1, not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6, but 7 rushing touchdowns.
Oh, my goodness. You're joking.
According to CalHighSports.com, that is tied for second in the CCS of all time. David Jackson from Cupertino has the record with 8 touchdowns, and that was set back in 1996 in a game versus Lynbrook.
We're not even born yet when that happened.
Nope.
I know I wasn't.
Nope.
Not me.
But anyways, Half Moon Bay went on to beat Foothill 52-45. That was as Adrian Soriano likes to call it, offensive fireworks. And then on the other side of Pleasanton, Amador Valley went up against Acalanes, and it was the Battle of the Dons. Amador Valley was able to take care of business, winning 24-23.
A lot of close scores throughout here. It's great to see, and that takes us right on over to Sacred Heart Prep and Hillsdale. And Sacred Heart Prep managed to get by all of one score, 21-14. Those Gators get it done. Which tough to see. I honestly, I don't think we had that prediction on last week's show, but I would have taken Hillsdale in that one. So good for Sacred Heart Prep getting it done. And then Miramonte and Menlo. Menlo with a massive statement, 31-7 over Miramonte.
And then we got what I called last week was offensive fireworks. It was definitely offensive fireworks, but Christopher came out on top, 45-28. Loved covering that game, man. That was great. And then Valley Christian Saturday night, statement win for those Warriors, 47-7 against the Mitty Monarchs.
And they said, I told you so.
Yeah, a lot of big surprises there. Let's recap Christopher Branham.
Yeah.
Adrian called it right on the money. Offensive fireworks, 45-28. That's a great win for Christopher to win on the road.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jackson Robinson looked good. Everybody looked good in the first half. 28-28 at the half.
That's crazy, that high scoring at half.
And I think 77 from Branham. Man, every time I would just run around the sidelines, he would be like, hey, man, let's go offensive fireworks, offensive fireworks. So, hey, man, appreciate the support that we're getting from everyone. And Christopher loved the crumble, man. They love the crumble.
Yeah.
How can you not?
Yeah.
What was the hit? Did they have a favorite cookie?
No, well, they saw the box and they just got excited. But
What do you think Christopher did well to get it done over there?
defensively, they made adjustments in the second half. They shut Branham out. Branham did not score in the second half. I don't know if Branham ran out of gas, but when I covered them against Hollister, it was kind of the same thing. Looked good in the first half, and then they kind of faltered in the second half. So I don't know what it is, but hey, man, Christopher's offense is good. Good. Now, a lot of seniors, though.
Yep.
So there's some continuity, or
Yeah.
I don't even know how to say that word.
This is the year that they need to put it
This
together.
is it. This is their year right here.
Jackson Robinson, 4 total touchdowns, over 280 total yards. Ray Waller had over 140 rushing yards.
Yep.
With 2 touchdowns. Christopher's a good team.
They are.
They are in 1-0 in league now.
1-0 in league. And, man, now we go to the WCAL.
This is.
There's some teams that have our attention. And let's start off with Mitty Valley Christian. We just recapped that a little bit. Valley Christian hit the ground running, and they never put their foot on the brake.
No.
Well-
No, they did not. Running, and more running.
Well, again, what did we say last week? Valley Christian likes to do what? Run the ball, 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 run the ball. And that's exactly, they threw.
What do they like to do? One more time.
Run the ball.
Okay, got it.
They
got it.
threw like 5 passes the entire game. They just ran the ball. They controlled the clock. And Mitty, I think their first offensive play, it was a high snap, and it ended up being a safety. And that basically kind of did them in because they didn't really get going, right? They had 3 red zone trips. First one was a pick, I think. Got picked off in the end zone. Second one was another high snap on 4th down, and Valley Christian recovered the loose ball. The third time they finally scored, but at that point it was too late, right? Valley Christian, just kept pounding the rock. Pound the rock. And, again, we were completely off on our prediction.
Very
Yeah.
wrong.
All
Very
of us.
wrong.
Yeah, they made us look like idiots.
Those teams must love that, though.
Absolutely.
Hey, those guys on Covered Cow High,
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
Yeah, exactly.
They loved it.
Yeah, so Ikiah Macklemore, 141 rush yards, 3 touchdowns. Marcel Leggett Jr. also had over 140 rushing yards, and he added 2 touchdowns on the night. Valley Christian, that's a statement win on its home field at
Stamp
the
it.
Hilltop.
At the Hilltop, absolutely. Stamp it, ship it, send it, win it.
And the other WCAL surprise, St. Ignatius.
SI, baby.
My, oh my. And, honestly, going back to our last episode, I was saying, I can see Reardon. I can see St. Francis. I can see Serra. We need to put SI on the map, ladies and gentlemen, because they made a statement
Over Serra.
on its home field. 21-20.
It was a comeback win.
Yep.
They were down 13.
Were they?
They were
Wow.
down 13.
Wow.
And somehow, some way, they found a way. So, but you take away Sarah's pick 6, it wasn't really a 13-point deficit. It was more like a 6-point deficit. Right? Take that defensive touchdown away.
Hey, it wasn't the prettiest game for SI to win, but hey,
Win's a
shout
win.
out to them for getting it done. You're down 13 in the 4th quarter. I don't care if you find a way to come back and win on your home field with that environment. That is huge for a program, and that builds so much momentum going into this upcoming week. We'll talk a little bit about that, but for those Serra Padres, Adrian, what is going on? 1-3.
I don't know. Now, again, they played De La Salle and Bosco, right? So, they really didn't get the passing game going.
Right.
Obviously, unfortunately, we weren't at this Serra SI game. I was thinking about putting it on the schedule. I think I had it on the schedule for a moment, and I took it off for whatever reason. So, I don't know, man, but hey, Serra, we expect them to win this week. I think they're playing Sacred Heart Cathedral. So, now, if they don't win this week, really, really get concerned.
I was going to say, when do you hit the panic button is the question. At what point do you start going, oh, shoot, what are we doing? What's happening? Are we able to bounce back from this or not?
I don't think there's panic right now, right? I mean, again, Patrick Walsh is a great coach. He'll figure something out. But again, if they lose this week, maybe it is time to hit the panic button, right? Because now you're going to start getting into the gauntlet of the West Catholic League. They haven't played Valley. They haven't played St. Francis. They haven't played Reardon.
Right.
Right? Those are the three big teams in this league.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Shout out SI. I mean, hey, I'm looking at this camera right now. Say Ignatius, you now have my attention. Be on the lookout for those Wildcats. That's a statement win for those Wildcats. And let's talk a little bit about the preview. So SI, now they've won their third consecutive game. They're 3-1 overall. And now they go up against Reardon. Now, Reardon, they put on a show in their win over Sacred Heart Cathedral. They put up 63 points.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
How does SI stop? How can these Wildcats stop this high-flying offense?
They need to do well defensively. Right? I think, SI's offense is good, right? We've said it before. Reardon's defense, not as great, right? But they need to stop Reardon's offense, especially the passing game. Can they limit Michael Mitchell Jr.?
And that's what I was going to ask is what does SI do well on offense? Because I haven't had the opportunity to cover them yet. Is it the pass game is where they excel?
Not so
They're
much.
pretty balanced.
They're
Pretty balanced. I mean, they utilize Soren Hummel's a great quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
He does a great job under center. He goes through his progressions really well. And then Jarius Hogan. I think Jarius Hogan is an outstanding weapon for that Wildcats offense. So if they get those guys going and the defense needs to play like they did against what they did against Serra, they have a great chance. They have a great chance. I'm going to say this, though. I think this is going to be a tough test for those Wildcats. But, I mean, what they did last week, they're on the map. I think this is going to be another close game.
Looking forward to it. I can't wait. Love it. I love these close matchups when we get into these, rivalry games, league games, and seeing all these tight scores already. I love it. I can't wait for it, and it excites me.
And you know what? The West Catholic League is officially open. Anyone can win. Right? You just see all these games last week. This is the gauntlet right here. Mm-hmm. Who will survive? That's my question. Who will survive?
Right. No, I couldn't agree more. Another shout out. I know we're kind of jumping all over the place. Yeah. We talked about Valley Christian utilizing their rushing attack, and that was huge for them. But we got to give a lot of credit to that Valley Christian defense.
Yeah.
They put on an amazing show.
Sure.
So when you only allow 7 points
That's what I was about to say.
on your home field, that's a huge win for the defense in my book.
Monstrous. Especially when you get late in the game, you're getting tired, and when you're up that big, it's eady. Like, what's another touchdown? They can have it, right? And for them stand tall and keep them to just one score, that's huge. Absolutely.
Eric Scherenberg is, I'm going to say it right now, he is probably the best defensive coordinator in the section.
That's a big statement.
I mean, he's been doing it for years, man. I know he took a break for a couple of years and he came back. But hey, you know what? He leads that Valley Christian defense, man. I don't know what he does, but he does a really, really good job, man. To limit Mitty's offense to 7 points.
Excuse me.
Right? Mitty did not score in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
So, shout out goes out to Coach Scherenberg.
It's great stuff.
He's a great defensive coordinator. And back to our previews, though. Los Gatos, Pittsburg.
Cannot wait. Talk about exciting matchup.
This will be our Crumble Cookies game of the week.
Yeah,
Tyler
baby.
Flipson will be covering it.
Yes, sir.
And these two teams played last year.
Yep.
In Los Gatos, Pittsburgh was able to win 37-27. But this year, this game's at Pitt.
Makes all the difference.
Yeah.
Makes all the difference. I can't wait for it. Coming in, first time for me seeing both these teams this season. I saw a lot of them last season, so I can't wait, especially in Pitt. Like you said, the emphasis there in Pitt is what makes it all more exciting. I think it's going to be a shootout. Talk about offensive fireworks. I really do. I think we're going to quote that one for this show. But I really do predict a high-scoring match between these two. And I think Pitt can have the edge there over Los Gatos.
Okay. I think what this is going to come down to, can the Los Gatos defense stop the rushing attack for Pittsburgh?
It's a big ask.
Jamar Searcy, Elijah Bowe, explosive out of the backfield. Mm-hmm. And if Marley Alcantara needs to make a play, he will. He will. But can Los Gatos stop them? That's going to be my big question.
That's a tough ask, man. I think it's going to be close in the first half, and then Pitt will find a way to just run away.
Well, especially if they're running the ball as well as they do and as often as they do, like you're talking about. I forget which game specifically it was. It was Valley and Mitty. If Pitt is able to run the ball and control the clock, you control the clock, you control the game.
Yep.
The game is in your hands. So if Pitt is able to do that well, like they have game after game, I think Pitt has the edge here. But who knows? Hey, I wouldn't mind being wrong. I would like to see Los Gatos come in and get it done too, just as much.
We were all wrong, man. We were all wrong.
Wouldn't be the first
game.
time.
And you know what?
I'm not making any predictions after what
Hey, you know what?
happened last week. I'm done. I'm just going to say maybe this will be a high-scoring game. Maybe this will be a low-scoring game. These are my questions.
Politician answer.
Hey, I mean, it's political season, right? Right? Come on.
You know, Valley made sure I heard it because I was at the game. Mm-hmm. They were like, hey, man, everybody thought Mitty was going to win, man. I'm like, hey, but Valley, we love you guys, man.
One thing to keep in mind for this Los Gatos-Pittsburgh matchup is that both teams are fresh off a bye.
Right. Yep.
That's going to be key.
Huge. Yeah, any guys that are banged up and injured, any guys that are battling through injuries, able to take that time to rest, reset, and really, too, from a coach's perspective, too, you take that time to take a deep dive into what you're doing well, what you're not doing well. It's a huge advantage, and I think that's great for a matchup like this one for both teams to come in as fresh as possible.
Love it. And I'm pretty sure this is like the final week of non-league action for some of these teams before they dive into league play.
Exactly. Yep.
So now we make our way over to the volleyball poll.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So we have some changes.
Not a lot.
Some changes, but not a lot.
Not as chaotic as the week prior.
Right.
Oof. We had chaos. We had anarchy.
All right. Well, should I just do it? Is it the 3-shot right here? That's a 3-shot. Here's the poll, guys, right here. There's the poll. So Branson number 1, right? St. Francis number 2. They finished first in the Santa Barbara Tournament of Champions this past weekend.
I will never not be blown away with all these tournaments they play. I know I've said it last several weeks, but I can't get over that. I think it's because I'm a little naive with volleyball and I didn't fully understand their schedules. But it's nuts how many games they can play.
It's pretty crazy. It's pretty crazy. Marin Catholic up to number 3 now because they defeated Redwood.
That's a big win.
It's a big win. That's a very, very big win. Logan at number 4. Man, they, again, have not lost a set since that 5-set thriller victory over Foothill. And have not lost since that championship game in their Vegas tournament earlier this season.
That's got to be some sort of history. How many other teams have done that?
Not a lot.
No.
Actually, I take that back. Mitty's done that before, I think. And St. Francis when they were really, really good.
They're still good.
Yeah, they're still good. But again, Logan's league is a little bit weak, so that does help them. No disrespect to the Mission Valley League. Redwood number 5, again, lost to Marin Catholic. But they did win the Sonoma Valley Paganini tournament this weekend. Mitty number 6. Carondelet 7. St. Ignatius 8. And real quick, St. Ignatius lost to St. Francis. But they did beat Reardon. And now they're heading into the Bruce Mahoney game at USF against Sacred Heart Cathedral.
Huge rivalry.
Huge.
Big rivalry. And I don't care what the records are. They have this game circled every year.
Yeah, it's going to be a big turnout, too.
It will definitely be. It's going to be wild.
Such a fun environment.
I can't wait because I'm shooting that game.
Yep.
Can't wait. San Ramon Valley is number 9.
Okay.
They finished second in the Paganini tournament. They lost to Redwood.
Okay.
And Palo Alto is number 7.
Pally. There.
There's the volleyball poll.
Yeah, you nailed this, Age.
Okay.
You nailed the volleyball poll.
I don't think I have any complaints.
Okay.
Not so much with the football poll,
here we
though.
go.
So
Yeah.
here we go.
Oh,
All right.
boy. Walk in.
Well,
Go through the list, Age.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
Walk in, folks.
if you were on our Instagram Friday, Saturday morning, again, shout out to our great producer, Nikon, who posted this at like 1 in the morning.
You know I shot the video of that, right?
Jake shot the video. I was in pain. I had no idea who to put at number 10, and we asked you guys who we should put for number 10. So here we go. De La Salle, number 1, beat El Cerrito, and so now they're not playing this Friday because they are heading to London.
And they're not the only ones going to London.
Nope. Jake and our producer Nikon will be
Yes, sir.
following the Spartans in London.
See you in London.
That's some exclusive coverage. So there's some exciting stuff to come on this very podcast too.
Next week.
with you guys there. So make sure you guys stay tuned for that content.
Yep. They're playing the NFL Academy in London next on Tuesday, October 8th.
Are we going to let the Academy score influence the polls?
No. well, now this is very tough because they're not really.
You know, there's some D1 prospects
There's
on that
some
roster,
D1 prospects,
right?
but I'm treating this game like the Serra Bosco game. It's like, well, if they lost to Bosco, so can't really knock
Right.
Serra on that. So same thing for De La Salle. Can't really knock the NFL Academy. We have completely no idea how good this NFL Academy team is. So.
Good question from Mr. Producer Man. I
Yep.
like that question. That's a good question.
Pittsburgh
Don't
number
know if I
2.
agree with it.
Yep, sorry. My bad.
Go ahead.
But Pittsburgh number 2, they're coming off their bye and they're playing Los Gatos this week.
Mm-hmm.
San Ramon Valley number 3 handled Hayward 48-0, and they're at Granada this week. St. Francis, real barn burner, man. They beat Bellarmine, real barn burner, and now they're going on the road. I wouldn't really say they're going on the road. They're probably driving like 15 minutes to Foothill Community College against Mitty. That's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah.
We're going to keep an eye on that. Reardon number 5, as we mentioned, they beat Sacred Heart Cathedral, and they are at St. Ignatius.
That's going to be
Saturday.
an even better game.
Oh, we have it on the schedule.
See you there.
Los Gatos coming off a bye is still number 6. Las Lomas number 7.
They climbed the ranks. They were lower before, no? Were they
Las
8 or
Lomas?
9?
I think they were number 8, but we will get to why they moved up
They're
1.
Heading into the
Here we go.
season, they were on the bubble.
They were on
Yeah.
the bubble.
They're scratching and clawing. I like it.
California number 8 defeated Granada, and they are at Livermore this week. El Cerrito number 9, they lost to De La Salle, but again, it's De La Salle, right? So
Hey, they put up a fight
they
against
did put
De
up
La
a fight
Salle.
against De La
Yep.
Salle. They did put up a fight against De La Salle.
That's a win in my book.
Absolutely. I used to say back then, if you lose to a West Catholic League team, it's like, there's no shame on that because they're supposed to beat you, right? So, and here we go. Number 10. Should we do a drum roll?
There's going to be some angry people.
It's pretty obvious.
St. Ignatius is our number 10 team because they beat Serra 21-20 thanks to Jarius Hogan's go-ahead touchdown late in the game. And now they're hosting Reardon on Saturday. And that, my friends, is the football poll. What are your thoughts?
Now, I'm no mathematician, but I count 10 teams.
Yes.
And out of those 10 teams, there's no Serra,
No Serra.
in those 10.
No Serra.
Whoa.
Okay.
There's going to be some angry Padres out there.
Yeah.
Okay. But see, here's the thing. I commend them for scheduling tough opponents.
Sure.
They always do, right? De La Salle, Bosco, Folsom. I think they played someone good a couple years ago. I forgot who it was. But, when you're scheduling these tough teams, when you win, that's great. Fantastic. But when you lose, you should also get punished for that because, no loss is different. I get that. But my poll, I kind of followed the college football formula,
Y equals MX plus B? Or?
Yeah, in a way, right? Listen, man, you lost. You should not be rewarded for losing to an inferior team.
Now, flashback to the black and white video where Adrian, week 1 of this show, is saying how Serra's his #1 team. They're staying there until somebody beats them.
But someone did beat them.
More
3
than
teams already beat them.
3 teams.
And
That's
SI,
crazy.
they're supposed to beat SI. They were up by 13 points.
Sure.
And they blew the game late against St. Ignatius. I can't just look over that.
So here's my problem with the football poll. Why isn't St. Ignatius ranked higher? I think, in my eyes, St. Ignatius beating Serra speaks more volume than California going to Livermore to beat Granada. I think that's more of a statement win for those Wildcats than Cal rolling past Granada.
That's a fair point. That's a fair
And,
point.
you know, I also saw them in week 1 against San Ramon Valley, and they didn't really look good, right?
But it's week 1, though.
I know, but, you know, which SI team is going to show up? Is it that team that didn't really play well against SRV, or is it that team that, you know, came back against Cathedral Catholic, you know, 2 weeks before? Is it that the same SI team that came back against Serra? I just want to see a little bit more from St. Ignatius, and I feel like their gauge is going to be this Saturday. Let's see how good these Wildcats really are.
Now, Jake, are you proposing or alluding to the fact you think Serra deserves to be on this top 10 still? Do you think they have a spot on this 10 if it was your poll?
This is a tough question.
Someone's got to ask the hard questions around
That's
here.
a very difficult question.
But see, think about it this way.
Because if it's me, I'm putting Serra at 10.
But think about it this way. Okay, so we had McClymonds early in the season. They lost to Reardon, and I think they lost to St. Francis, and they lost to someone else. I'm not sure. But, you know, if I punished McClymonds because they lost to St. Francis and Reardon, and they were in our top 10 poll, why am I not going to treat Serra the same way?
Right.
No, I think that's fair.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
No, it's a fair point. And like you said, I think, you lose games, you got to move down
Exactly.
the poll.
I see where you're coming from because
Right.
from your eyes, Adrian, you can't put a team on a poll that's 1-3.
I gave them the benefit of the doubt against Bosco because it's St. John Bosco. I gave him the benefit of the doubt against De La Salle because it's De La Salle, and this is the old De La Salle team from years ago.
Right.
I gave them the benefit of the doubt for those 2 games. I cannot do that anymore against St. Ignatius because they were up by 13 and they blew the game.
Right.
They blew the game.
Yeah.
I want to hear Jake's answer. I know. I want to see what you have to say.
Because here's my thing. First of all, when it comes to the polls, it's tomfoolery. It's major tomfoolery, if you ask me. But the big thing that I'm asking, and I'm saying to myself, is like, can Serra beat Las Lomas? Absolutely. They'll smoke Las Lomas.
Whoa, that's a bold take there, my friend.
You don't think so?
I think
come
it's
on.
Again,
Oh,
Serra's
Lost
problem is
Can they beat Cal? Oh, you bet.
Yeah, I think so.
They can beat Cal. I don't know about Las Lomas, man.
Really?
Can they
I don't know
beat,
about Las Lomas.
But can
No,
they beat El Cerrito? That, my friends, would be a war.
Okay, so you know what? Let's go through the poll again and see. I know. Hold on. Can Serra beat De La Salle? Well, we already saw that. De La Salle beat them. Can Serra beat Pittsburg? I don't think so.
No.
Can they beat San Ramon Valley?
No.
They're playing St. Francis in a couple weeks. Can they beat St. Francis? I don't think so. Can they beat Reardon? That's later in the season. I don't know. With that offense, I don't know.
I think so.
Tyler, you think so?
I think they could beat Reardon.
Okay.
And it wouldn't be a no contest. I think Reardon would be relevant, but I think they would be.
Okay. Jake?
Can they beat Reardon?
Yeah.
Can they beat Reardon?
You don't do with these hot. You don't do well with these hot seat questions.
I don't.
You got to chew on it.
Yeah, sometimes you do have to bite the bullet. You got to bite the bullet sometimes. No.
Okay.
No.
Can they beat Los Gatos?
Yes.
That's a tough one, too.
Yes, they can.
That's very tough.
That's a tough one, too.
All love to these teams. I'm saying that they could get beat by Serra, but I think
Exactly, because
they
they're
could beat
just
them.
the mystique of Sarah. Right, but this is not the Sarah of
I'm
old.
going to tell you right now, Serra can beat Las Lomas.
Okay.
Sticking by that one. He's standing by his guns.
Yeah.
Okay, can they beat California?
Yes.
Yeah.
El Cerrito,
That would be fun
I
to
don't
see.
know.
That would be an amazing matchup.
Yeah.
They
that
put up
I
a
would
hell of a
love
fight.
to see. If that game is in Serra, I think it would be a lot closer than what people think. But if that game's at El Cerrito shuts them down.
Wow.
So see, here we go. El Cerrito put up a hell of a fight, right? And obviously, SI, who's our number 10, they just lost to SI. So it's so hard,
Yeah,
right?
it is hard.
Yeah,
it is
no-
hard. And that's what makes me thinking, it's like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
where do you even begin? It's like when it obviously I was following Darren Sabadra's tweets from the Mercury News of that SI Serra game, and it's like, wow, SI made a statement and won, beating those Serra Padres, and it's like, and I'm thinking to myself, heading back to the office, where is Adrian gonna put them on this
Yeah.
poll? Or are they even in this poll
And
to begin with?
that's what I was going to chime in on is that we got to put it in question everything. But this polls thing is a hard task.
It's really
You're
tough,
never,
man.
ever going to please everyone,
No.
ever. Whether
So-
it's us sitting in this studio or, the greater populace.
So two more things before we wrap up with this show.
Okay.
What about some of those bubble teams?
Okay.
Let's talk about. Oh, let's see. Where does Marin Catholic? Marin Catholic has been putting it together now. They're 3-2 on the year. And what about who's a scary good team
Who?
that we're not even mentioning a lot?
Who?
Windsor.
Okay, well, it can put Cardinal Newman in that list too.
And Cardinal Newman.
I don't think Marin Catholic is in the bubble yet. We'll see what they do. I think it's this week. Marin Catholic and San Marin. I think it's this week. So
I
we'll
thought
see.
it was next week.
Oh, was it next week? Okay.
It's
So,
either this week or next
yeah,
week.
it's one of those 2 weeks. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
Cardinal Newman, I would say is probably in that bubble. Serra, just because Serra is not in the top 10 doesn't mean they're not in the bubble. They are
Yeah,
in the
they're
bubble.
in the bubble.
Yeah, they are.
They are
Yeah,
in the bubble. Valley Christian maybe? Valley
I was
Christian,
just about to say
maybe?
Valley.
They
got to be in the
they might be
conversation.
in the bubble, right?
Yeah.
Mitty, oh, see, here we go, man.
Yeah.
Mitty, maybe in the bubble. I don't
this
know.
is-
I
this
did
is the-
consider them. I did. Had they defeated Valley Christian, they would be number 10.
That bubble
Just because they're still undefeated and all that stuff.
Right.
So, it's so hard.
that bubble
man.
gets hazy quick of who you can or
It
can't
is so
include.
tough.
It's
And
tough
that-
as is getting the 10.
Well, and speaking of tough, this actually broke, I think probably yesterday. So last night I was kind of getting ready for bed, and Jake texted me a picture from Ronnie Flores' tweet that CalPreps is ceasing operations, like I think immediately. That's a pretty big deal. What do you guys think? Well, now,
Because it affects CCS
It
playoff
does-
rankings.
Right.
that's a big deal. I think CBS is not paying them, or I think it's that reason. But man, that's a big blow, man. I'm interested to see how the CCS adjusts their playoff thing. Because I don't know if CalPreps is
Do we know why? Was there any context?
on their website. I looked it up on their website. They said that they were not getting money from CBS because I think they got bought out 7, and CBS was breaching their contract and they weren't getting paid, and they ran out of money to operate the website, and so they had to cease the site. And I think they're now suing CBS. So
That got messy quick.
It's very, very messy, and it doesn't just affect CalPreps, it affects the Central Coast section, and there's probably other sections that use CalPreps. So
Yeah.
it is a mess.
Yeah, well, the NCS Max Preps rankings.
Oh, here we go.
Anyways, so we got some updates with the Max Preps rankings for the NCS. De La Salle 1, Pitt 2, SRV 3, Cardinal Newman 4, El Cerrito number 5. So despite losing to De La Salle, they moved up to the 5 spot. Marin Catholic at number 6, Cal at 7, and Liberty went from 5 last week to now number 8.
Whoa,
San Marin is still
Well,
9.
If they beat Marin Catholic,
Oh yeah, that
they will be in
change.
that top 8.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Very
I
true.
still don't agree with Liberty number 8, man.
Yeah.
I still don't agree.
I
No
agree.
disrespect to those Lions, man. I disagree with Liberty at number 8. I think San Marin should be in over them.
Mustang Country, let's ride.
Mustang Country. Let's ride.
Let's ride. Did you like that transition I made from
I
the
like that.
CalPreps to Max Preps?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Calvin,
Okay.
you know, it
You
worked,
practiced
right?
that one in the mirror? Or?
I thought about it last night.
Yeah.
I thought about it last night. I think that's all the time we have for you for this episode, and I think it's safe to say, man, oh man, you've been covered. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.